Welcome to the chapter Magnetism. Magnets are widely used in our day to day life. They are present in some of the common household appliances, like they are present in the speakers of the music system or the television or the radio. They are present in the computers, in the hard disk. Instead of it, electromagnets are widely used in electric motors like that of a fan, table fan, AC motor, or a mixie grinder in the kitchen. They are present in the door of a refrigerator, and also they are present in the alarm clocks. So you can take many examples, and the magnets are widely used in our day to day life things. So in this chapter, we will study about the magnet and their properties. So magnets, they were early known to the Greeks, and they knew about the magnet from an ore of iron called magnetite, which is magnetic in nature. So this term magnet may be derived from the ore of iron magnetite. Now we have three different type of materials. One is called magnet, other is called magnetic substance, another is called a non-magnetic substance. A substance which has the property to attract certain materials like iron nails towards itself. We call that material or substance as a magnet. A material which is strongly attracted towards a magnet, we call it as a magnetic substance. For example, iron, cobalt, nickel, or their alloys. Alloys are the mixture of different metals. Then there is non-magnetic substance. There are certain substances on which there is no effect of the magnet. That means magnet is not able to attract them. They are known as the non-magnetic substance. For example, rubber, copper, water, glass, etc. They fall into the category of the non-magnetic substances. Now, we may have a wrong belief that all magnets are made up of the iron, and a magnet is able to attract all the materials, all the substances in which iron is present. But this thing is not correct completely. It is only the natural ore of the iron, that is the magnetite, in which iron is present. But we can also prepare magnet artificially by the mixture of different metals which are known as alloys. For example, alloy of cobalt, nickel, and certain other elements, they can also be magnetic in nature. One alloy which we commonly use in the laboratory, which is acting as a permanent magnet, is an alloy or a mixture of aluminium, nickel, and cobalt, which is called Alnico. Al for aluminium and Ni for nickel, Co for cobalt. So it is called as Alnico magnet. Then there are other magnetic materials which are known by the name ferrites. So they are magnetic in nature, but they do not contain any iron inside them. Then there is a stainless steel, the major composition of which is iron, but it is not a magnetic material. Now we will discuss magnet and their properties. So we know that a material which is able to attract certain substances like paper pins, iron nails, cobalt, nickel, other type of metals towards itself, we call it as a magnet. The study of the magnets and their properties, that how they affect other substances, how they are able to apply force of attraction or repulsion on other materials or other magnets fall into the category or a branch of the science which we call as the magnetism. In the higher classes, we will learn that magnetic attraction cannot be done only with the help of the magnets, but it can be done with the help of electric currents. That means when we pass electric current, then magnets can also be created. Now, magnets are available to us in various shapes and sizes according to our use. So, the shape and the size of the magnet, how much powerful is the magnet, that depend upon for what purpose a magnet is to be used. The most common shapes and sizes that are available to us, one is bar magnet, another is horseshoe magnet, then there is a disc magnet, and then a ring magnet. Ring magnet is commonly used inside the speakers. Horseshoe magnet is more powerful as compared to that of the north and as compared to the bar magnet. Reason, in case of bar magnet, its magnetic north and magnetic south poles, they are quite a distance away from each other, but in case of horseshoe magnet, they are very close to each other, therefore attracting power of horseshoe magnet is larger. What is the pole of a magnet? Pole of a magnet is a point in the interior of a magnet near its edge where its attractive power is maximum. For example, if you take a look at figure 7.2, you can see a dot is present near the north pole. So that dot indicates the position of the north pole. Similarly, another type of dot can also be placed near the south end. So pole of a magnet is actually a point which is slightly lying in the interior of the magnet near its edge where the attracting power is maximum. In order to find it, what we can do, we can perform an activity in which we have to sprinkle a very fine iron powder, iron filings on a magnet. After doing it, after completely covering the magnet, gently pick up the magnet and slightly tap it. We will observe that most of the iron filings, iron powder particles will fall off from the interior of the magnets, but maximum number of iron powder particles will remain stick near its edges. So they are sticking over there because near the edge of the magnet, the attracting power is maximum. So it is the point where attracting power is maximum, and we call this point at the edge of the magnet as the pole. A magnet has two poles, one is called magnetic north pole and another is known as the magnetic south pole, and they lie slightly inside the two ends of the magnet, and the distance between them is approximately 0.85 times the length of the magnet. So we define two lengths of the magnet. One is called as the physical length, which is actually the length of the bar of which magnet is made up. But the poles do not lie at the physical ends, but they lie slightly on the interior side. And if we find the distance between the north and south pole, it is 0.85 times the physical length of the bar magnet. Magnet possess an important property which is called as directional property. This means that if we suspend a bar magnet with the help of a non-magnetic thread right from its center and then we suspend it, in the beginning it will start rotating, but ultimately when it will come to rest, it will come to rest along a particular direction which is called as north-south direction. Mark this line, mark this direction with the help of a chalk. Slightly disturb the magnet so that it again starts rotating. You will observe that when it will again come to the rest, it will again be aligning itself along the north-south direction. Doesn't matter how many times you repeat this process, it will always align itself along this particular direction. This important activity shows that a magnet possesses an important property which is called as directional property, which means that the two poles of a magnet, north and the south pole, they always point in one particular direction. The direction in which the north pole of the magnet is pointing, we call that as the north pole, and the direction in which the south pole of the magnet is pointing, we call it as the south pole. This directional property of the magnet is very important because this directional property help us to find the direction. So in the older times, sailors, they used this directional property of the magnet in order to find the way during their ocean traveling. So they were using the natural magnet called the lodestone. Lodestone means leading stone. Here the word lode means leading stone, means indicating in a particular direction. So they will suspend a piece of natural magnet called lodestone on their ship, and with the help of which they will find the north direction, and once they were able to find the north south direction, they will be able to reach towards their target. Later on, this thing was modified and they were able to make magnetic compass, which is even now used to find the directions. Another important property of the magnet is that they apply force on each other, which can be attractive or repulsive in nature. In order to see this attractive or repulsive property, again suspend a bar magnet with the help of a thread, non-magnetic, or a paper strip right from its center. Now if you bring the north pole of another magnet close to the south pole, they will come close together, attraction will be there. But if you bring north pole of a magnet close to the north pole of the suspended magnet, they will tend to move away from each other. That means they will show repulsion. So here you are observing that the two poles north and south, when they come close, they are attracting each other. Here you are observing that when the same poles of the two magnets north and north, they are brought close together, or south and south, they are facing each other, they tend to move away from each other. We call this as the repulsion property. So from here we get an important point, that like poles always repel each other for the magnet, while unlike poles they always attract each other. Thank you.